The vibe for 2019 is to be hella extra all the time. What's going on, Slay Bays? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to the channel. You know what? You guys should probably welcome me back to my channel because I've been gone for a little minute now, and honestly it was just a much needed break from social media, and I think breaks on social media are so incredibly healthy for your overall well-being. Otherwise you can experience a burnout, and let me just say, towards the very end of the year, your girl was smoking.
The anger sharks are swimming in my head. You gotta...
Like, I was super close to a real deal burnout. But I am back, I'm refreshed, I'm so excited for 2019 content, and I hope you guys are excited as well. If you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also click that bell so that you guys are notified anytime I upload, which is 2 times a week, every single week. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and y'all don't want to miss out. So with that, let's go ahead and get into all of the new drugstore products. Oh, I went ahead and did the good zoom on you. First things first, my brows are already done. I went ahead and did my brows off camera just because it does take me a little minute to do it. I did use this by Maybelline. It is the brand new Tattoo Studio Brow Pomade, and I did use the shade Deep Brown. Let me just say, this is my second time using this, and I am obsessed. Like, my brows look so good. I love the color. I love the formula. I love that it gives you enough playtime to actually blend out the pomade, and it doesn't set right away, if you get my drift. So this is a really good, and I think it is going to replace a lot of drugstore brow products that I currently use, but that's me like getting ahead of myself. That's saying a lot. I will definitely keep you guys updated on that. For eyeshadow, I do have a relatively new eyeshadow palette. It's not new, but it recently just launched in Target store, so I decided to pick it up just so that way I could use it on camera, and it is the new Classics palette by e.l.f. Y'all, I am all about it. It definitely reminds me of like ABH Soft Glam, but I love that it's affordable. I love that the shade names are directly underneath the eyeshadows, and I love the size of the actual palette. So kudos to e.l.f. I am so stoked to use this. My eyes are already primed. You guys already know, tried and true NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Medium 1 Custard. It's what I love to use to prime my eyelids. The very first shade I'm going to take from within the palette is a bone colored shadow called CRÈME, and I'm going to take it on a Morphe M433, and I'm lightly just going to rock it right here in my crease to help with blending. I'm not going to put a whole lot of this color in my crease just because I don't want to completely mattify the look. I'm only going to take it in my crease and a little bit up and out directly underneath my brow bone. Next up, I'm going to go in with the shade called Truffle on an M441, and I'm going to rock this right here into my crease to act as my transitional color. And I am essentially holding my brush right here towards the very end of the barrel just because it does give me more of a lighter hand and less pressure, and I want my transitional shade to be nice, soft, and blown out. So taking that same Morphe M433 that I used the shade CRÈME, I'm going to pick up a little bit of the shade called Daring, and I'm just going to pat this right here closest to the very outer V area, and I'm going in patting motions at first just because I do want it to be most intense towards the outer V. And once I have majority of the product placed on my outer V area, I'm just going to flick my brush inwards like so. I'm also going to take this color right here into the socket and blend it right here in the very inner part of the lid just to really intensify and deepen things up a little bit more. To really diffuse out the color, I'm going to switch over to an M514, which is a smaller, kind of like E40 by Sigma, and I really like it to get right here in the socket of the crease. Not only is it going to place the color, but it's going to really buff and diffuse out the color at the same time. Do you guys see how beautiful this shadow is blending up? The pigmentation is on, like, ooh, girl. I think I found like a really good neutral palette for an affordable price point. $14 for this palette is a steal, let me just say that. So moving on, I'm gonna go in with the shade called Muse, which is a very deep espresso, and I'm gonna push it right here closest to the base of my lash, and I'm taking it on M507 just because I really want to buff and blend, but I want to precisely blend, and this brush is perfect for that. Going back into an M433, I'm gonna pick up a little little bit more Muse and then just simply pat right here in this area to really deepen up this outer area. We don't want to go too crazy though, so if you feel like you're getting any harsh edges, just go back into this brush right here, which is an M514, and just lightly buff in small circular motions. All right, so this look just took a turn really quick with that deep color called Muse. Honestly, I'm really liking it. I know it looks very strange right now, but trust me when I tell you, it's all about the process of doing makeup. It may look very crazy in the beginning and very scary, but just stick with it. I say this time and time again in my videos, but honestly, it's the honest to God truth. Sometimes I'm like, just trust the process. The next shade I'm going to use is called Platinum, and I am going to spray my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus because I don't really want to cut my crease, and Fix Plus does have glycerin in it, so it is going to allow the shadow to lay very smoothly on my eyelid, and I'm really just going to focus this on the very inner part of the lid. I'm going to use my finger to pat this on the very center because I feel like applying it with my finger works out a little bit better. As you can see, it's not as sharp as a cut crease would be, but honestly, I don't mind it at all. I honestly really like this look. It does give it more of a softer, very effortless vibe. Taking that same M507, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of the black called Noir, and I'm just going to run it right here closest to the base of my lash line. I'm also going to run the shadow a little bit more inward, connecting it with the shimmer shade on my lid. And I don't want this to be super black, so I am just going in with a little bit of product at a time. Whew. So this look definitely got really smoky really quick, but I really love the touch of platinum on the lid as opposed to like my typical gold or champagne. I feel like it just gives it a completely different vibe, and it's not like platinum. It definitely leans a little bit more pewter, and I'm all about that. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to switch over to using a liner, and I'm not going to use a liquid liner or a gel liner. I'm actually going to use this from Maybelline. This is the new Tattoo Studio waterproof smudge resistant 36-hour wear crayon eyeliner in the shade Deep Onyx. I am all about this. I'm really excited. As you can see from the picture right here, it looks like it's going to be extremely black. Like, hello, let's do this. That was me being a little extra. I'm actually going to take an angled brush and brush this liner onto it just so that way I could use it as an actual eyeliner because it appears to be like really black. Can you guys imagine if they put this in like a potted form, like a gel liner form? Y'all, I would be hooked, obsessed, all about it, but we're going to do it this way. So that was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be because it was more of like a pencil liner as opposed to a gel liner, but we made it work. We finessed the game. I wouldn't mind if Maybelline came out with a gel eyeliner just like that, like the same formula and everything, because the formula, you guys, it is so black. It's crazy. And I live for a good black eyeliner. So I do have a brand new mascara to try and test out in today's video, and it is this one right here. This is the new Unlimited Mascara by L'Oreal. It says use straight to stretch and lengthen, or you can use it bent to lift lashes from root to tip. So I think the packaging is really unique. It has a flat bottom so you could just stand it up on your vanity, and I'm excited. Like, we shall see. Like, how do you bend it? Oh. So what you have to do is you have to pop off the little plastic and then you could bend the handle or you could straighten it. I think I'm going to do it bent. Let's do it bent. I do feel like this is kind of gimmicky in a sense, like why do I need it to bend and why do I need it to be straight? And that's just my personal opinion. I'm definitely not a fan. Sorry. The lashes I'm going to use today are by Salon Perfect. These aren't brand spanking new, but they are from the drugstore in the style 651. I love these lashes because I feel like they're very beginner friendly in the sense that they're not too heavy. The lash band isn't too thick. It does come with an invisible lash band, making it very easy to conceal when wearing black liner or no liner at all. So I'm going to pop these on and then I will be right back. So lashes are on, they're nice, they're subtle, they're not too extra or too dramatic, which I'm all about. I'm now gonna go ahead and move on to the rest of the face. The primer I'm gonna use is from Wet n Wild. This is the Wet n Wild Matte Photo Focus Face Primer. Not entirely sure if this is new or not, but it is technically a mattifying and smoothing primer. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this and pop it all over the skin. I will say that this primer feels really, really good on the skin. I don't feel like my skin is overly matte, which is a good thing because I don't really like to mattify my face or skin too much. So my skin, it's nice and primed and ready for foundation. For foundation, I will be using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. I recently picked up a new shade in the shade Warm Vanilla, and I know you wouldn't think that I would gravitate towards a color like that, but all of the other warm shades that I've used in the past are just slightly too dark for me, so I really need something a little bit lighter that's not going to make me look super orange. I'm going to start in the very center of my face and work my way outwards. This is looking a little light, but honestly I think it will be a decent match once I put on my powder and things like that. This foundation in general is just really pretty on the skin. If you struggle with acne or anything like that, then this is going to be the foundation for you. And while I know this isn't a new foundation, it's the only foundation that I have that I wanted to try and test out for the sake of this video, because a lot of the other ones I picked up actually weren't my color. So right now it's looking just a tad bit too light. So I'm gonna mix in a little bit of neutral buff, which is super dark, like way too dark. And I think mixing the two together should give me my perfect shade. At least I hope. Okay, yeah, so that's definitely giving me a little bit more color back into the skin, because I was looking a little ghostly for a minute. This is my canvas right here, right now. I will definitely say I do like how both of these foundations mix together, neutral buff and also warm vanilla. I used to have True Beige, but I gave that one to my little sister because she was in need of some foundation, and at the time that one was just way too dark for me. I'm now gonna move on to concealer. I'm gonna use the brand new NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. This is a contouring concealer and I will be using the shade called Vanilla. I'm now just gonna go in with a damp sponge and buff and blend out the concealer. So I will say I really like the color. I also feel like the concealer is blending out very nicely underneath the eyes. Hey, we see you, we see you. I also picked up a brand new loose powder from NYX. This is from their Can't Stop Won't Stop line, which I absolutely love. I picked mine up in the shade Light Medium. Now, one thing I will say I like about it so far, because I did take a peek at it the other day, is that it does have this kind of stopper right here, so that way the powder doesn't get everywhere. Now, the powder does look relatively dark in the actual packaging, but it's not as dark on the skin as it is in the container, so keep that in mind. I do have the shade Light Medium, and I'm just going to use this to set that concealer down and in place. I'm also going to take this powder and set all the areas where I put the concealer, so my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, my chin, and my cupid's bow. I am seeing that this powder has a little bit of sheen to it. I don't know how I feel about that. I wasn't really expecting it to have any kind of sheen, but it's all right. Taking that powder on a brush, I'm just going to also dust it directly underneath my eyes as well, just to kind of get rid of any excess powder and just reset any areas that I may have missed with my sponge. Now, I know a lot of this powder has fallen onto my eyeshadow and my eyebrows, but at the very end I will kind of set everything down and the powder will kind of like melt away, so don't fret. Now, I am well aware that NYX does have a Can't Stop Won't Stop pressed powder, but they actually don't have that in store yet, so I will be using this one by Maybelline. This is their brand new Super Stay Full Coverage Powder in the shade 220 Natural Beige. And I'm just going to set all of the areas where I didn't apply that NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop loose powder. I will definitely say I love how silky smooth this powder is. Also, when you lift it up, you do get one of those sponges. So this is one of those products that you could easily toss into your purse or anything like that and touch up on the go, which I really love. Wet n Wild has some brand new bronzers out, and these are the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzers. This one right here is called Sunset Striptease. As you can see, it is more of a cool tone bronzer, and then I have this one right here called Ticket to Brazil, which is more so warm. I picked up both because some Some days I'm into more of like a cool tone bronzer, and other days I like a very warm bronzer. It really just depends. I feel like warm tone bronzers are extremely beautiful during the summertime when you want to kind of mimic that bronzy looking glow, and cool tone bronzers can be perfect for like contouring the nose or creating natural looking shadows. So I will be using the shade called Sunset Striptease to really create natural shadows on the skin, and the brush I'm using is a MAC 135. I freaking love this bronzer. I will say it has a little bit of a sheen to it, as you can see right here on the highest point of my temples. It kind of looks like I put highlight, but like I didn't, and I'm not even mad about that. I think I look bronzy, I look glowy, I look like I'm about to go lay out in the sun. You know what I mean? I'm going to take this brush right here by BH, and I'm really going to intensify it right here so you can kind of like suck in, like, and really just get in there and bronze. Yes, bitch. To clean up my bronzer just a little bit, I'm going to go in with some of the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder, and I'm going to take a little bit of that on my Equal Tools sponge. I'm going to take the straight edge, and I'm just going to go whoop, just like that to really just clean things up and give it more of a polished look. While I let this bake sit here, I'm gonna go in with some loose powder highlighter. This is from Wet n Wild in the shade I'm So Lit. Now they had about 4, maybe 3 or 4 of these in CVS, and I was very, very interested. I was like, I need it. And I picked up the shade that was closest to what I personally like in a highlight. And this is definitely more of a light golden highlight, so I'm about it. And I also really love how the sifter are like little tiny stars. So this right here is what the highlighter looks like. It is so fine, and I think it's going to be hella blinding. Do you guys see that? Lord help me. I need to go in with a very light hand. I'm just gonna go very, very lightly and add some to the highest point of my cheek. Girl, a bitch is blinding the world. So I know I said I thought that the Wet n Wild bronzer had a little bit of a sheen to it. I personally think it is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder, because I did use it on the sides of my nose when I bronzed it a little bit, and I noticed that my nose was a little bit shiny. So I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder, because I feel like it has a sheen to it and it's kind of accentuating my pores and texture, which I'm not a big fan of. So I'm not even gonna lie, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that not many drugstore brands dropped new blushes. So I will be using this one by Milani. This is the Milani Powder Blush in the shade Romantic Rose. This is not new, but it's something I really, really love in my collection, and I feel like it's going to complement the look very well. I definitely need to go right back in and finish off my lower lash line because my eyes look a little bit undone. So I'm going to pick up the shade called Darling on a flat definer brush, and I'm going to run it right here on my very lower lash line. I'm also going to take the shade called Muse and really blow it out right here to just smoke out the look a lot more. I want to be smoky, sultry, y'all already know. Then with a little bit more of that black shade on that flat definer brush, I'm just going to push it right here closest to the very outer edge to connect it with the shadow on my upper outer V area. I'm even going to take a little bit of this Maybelline tattoo liner and pop it in my waterline. So last but most certainly not least, I'm going to go in with some lip products. Now NYX did come out with these. These are the Line and Load 2-in-1 lippies. Now the concept is that it is supposed to be a lip liner and also a liquid lipstick all in one. I picked up 2 very neutral kind of like beige shades. So I have Never Listen and I have DM Me. I'm probably going to use both of them. I'm going to use Never Listen on the perimeter of my lips, and then I'm going to fill in the middle with a little bit of DM Me. So I'm honestly so obsessed with this lip combo. Like, these lip products by NYX are bae. I love how thin they are, so they're easily accessible to toss in your purse or whatever. But I really love the wand. I love that I can line my lips and also fill them in completely with these. And I really love the 2 shades that I picked up. Okay, anyways, I am gonna finish off this look with a setting spray. I will be using this by Wet n Wild. This is the Natural Finish setting spray. Okay, so I will definitely say that the mist isn't as fine as I would personally like, but not bad, Wet n Wild. And just like that, you guys, this is the final and completed look. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. I will definitely say the new Classics palette by e.l.f. is so incredibly bomb. I'm honestly really sad I did not pick this up earlier. I did know that it launched online, but I just never got around to picking it up. And I'm so glad that I got it in store. Like, honestly, if you guys are looking for a really dope neutral palette, this is the palette for you. I'm not even gonna fake the funk. Creamy, buildable, blendable. I love it. It looked amazing on the eyes. The only thing I will say is that these shimmers are just a slightly lackluster. I feel like they should be like just a little bit more pigmented going on. I did have to really layer it on with Fix Plus. I feel like the shimmers would look hella bomb directly over top of concealer, but as you guys know, I did not do that within this video. So just a little tip when using this palette, but all in all, it is amazing for the price point. The only thing I will say that I didn't like within the video, like right off the bat, is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Loose Powder. I feel like it really just enhanced areas that I didn't want to be enhanced, like my texture and also my pores. It had like a little bit of a sheen to it, so I'm not a fan of this powder. And another thing that I really liked is the NYX Line and Load Lippy, specifically these 2 colors right here. It just goes with the vibe. It complements the look so nicely, and I'm about that. So if you guys are interested in any of the products I mentioned within this video, make sure you guys check out the description. You guys know I hook you up, I put links, all that jazz. I will also have asterisks next to each and every single product I love and would recommend a million times over. Also, since it is a brand new year, I want to start doing post notification shout outs. So if you guys want to be featured in my next video, all you have to do is turn on your post notifications, let me know you did it, and use the hashtag SlayBae to be featured in the next vid. So with that, I love you, and I will talk to you guys all very soon. Deuces. Outro of the outro, the outro of the outro. All right, you guys, you made it to the very end of the video. Let's go ahead and talk about this desk behind me, this desk situation. Let me just say, it's been so difficult to get this desk painted black. Literally, we had to sand it, paint it, seal it, strip it, sand it, repaint it, and it is so far from perfect. So subscribe to my channel by clicking right here and check out this video and this video right over here. I love you, and I will talk to you guys all in the next video. Goodbye.